Hello again, everybody. We made it. We are back. It's the Inside Blitz NFL week number 16. And Kiev O'Neill is joining us, and possibly Las Vegas Chris in a little bit. Ron has some other stuff to deal with today. Kiev, how's your day going besides crazy?
What's going on, Ted? How are you doing, man? My day is hectic, but it's always a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for the invite today.
Absolutely. And, we are the preferred Thursday night game, pregame show. So what a game we have tonight. I mean, this is really as good as it gets. It's the first time they've ever had two 11-win teams for Thursday night football. Until this year, it was the crappiest matchups you can imagine, and they're actually getting better at it. But this is as much a coincidence as anything. What do you think of tonight's game?
It's the best Thursday night football game probably of the year. Are you kidding me? These two teams are fighting for the number one seed in the AFC or in the NFC. You know what? They're both great teams this year. I'm hyper excited to see this, Ted.
Yeah, and I was at the last matchup, Kiev, in week 11. The Rams won it by 2 points. There was a crazy last second, literally 1 second left timeout called. It could have gone either way. The clock might have run out, but it didn't. Had some fun with that on this show afterwards. And then the Seahawks missed a 61-yard field goal to wrap that one up. Otherwise, they pull that game out despite 4 interceptions by Sam Darnold. So you talk about teams that are tight. I mean, Seattle on the road could have and easily should have won that game.
Ironically, Ted, I was on your show that week after that ended and saw some of your great interviews. That was a banger of a game. The Rams got up early, but I thought that they kind of let off the gas pedal and started to play to lose. Now they're lucky that didn't happen to them. But sometimes, you get up and get too excited. Just ask the New England Patriots how that worked out for them. You got to always stay until those clocks hit 00. You got to be invested in this game. And Seattle knows that if they had one more quarter in that game, they might have won it.
Yeah, maybe one more play, actually.
Yeah.
Because all they had to do was move it up another 10 yards. It would add a pretty easy field goal. So, but, that's life in the NFL. What are you going to do about it? In the meantime, the Rams tonight are probably, and I say probably almost for sure, without Davante Adams. If he plays, I think it's ridiculous. I was there as he walked by me at his locker when he did not do post-game news conference on Sunday. He was walking okay, but there's no doubt that hammy thing, it's not going to go away in 4 days, maybe not in 4 weeks, but certainly there's no reason to press that tonight.
It would be a terrible mistake for him to play. They have much bigger fish to fry.
Exactly.
First of all, he's a wide receiver. He's a big receiver and he's needed, but he's needed a lot more in the playoffs than he is for this one single game. I think that Davante Adams is a key to the possession receiver. Nakua can do it all really, but you also need that second guy when there's a safety over the top of Puka Nakua.
So the Rams are coming off a nice win over Detroit. I was there post-game, got a lot of sound today. I'm going to try and play as much as possible. We might have some limited time. Kiev's got to be out of here at the top of the hour, but maybe I'll have some extra. In the meantime, Sean McVay talked about not only the fact that he just had a kid this week and you talk about an extra short week for the head coach. Right, he had a second boy. I think it was Tuesday, if I got that correctly. But we talked to him after the game on Sunday, and also asked him about that. And then I asked him about, and I want to get your feeling on this, dealing with a short week. And do you make any decisions in the game you're at on Sunday before the Thursday night game? Here's McVay on Sunday.
Obviously, we're praying for a safe and healthy arrival of our second little boy. That would be awesome. My wife is a total stud. My respect just watching and getting an up close and personal look at this. I could never do this stuff. There's a lot of love, there's a lot of appreciation, and a lot of gratitude. So we'll pray for a safe and healthy arrival, and then I'll be stressed out preparing for Seattle on a short week, but it's good stress, So our guys will be ready to go. It's going to be a great challenge, and this is what you love about the NFL.
Sean, knowing what's ahead, how much do you consider the short week during the game Like, I need to do this?
Oh, no, not at all.
Really?
I mean, it's too back and forth. You can't afford to do that. You have to be able to take care of your business. If we were able to establish a lead and do those things, then that's different. But that wasn't the case. That thing came all the way down to the wire. They're too explosive offensively, and shoot, you're still till that clock hits 0. I'm not feeling great, but I did love the way that our guys handled, the pressure moments at the end.
Okay, so that's Sean McVay, head coach of the Rams. Get your thoughts, Kiev, on that question. And the reason I asked it because Puka Nacua was hurt earlier in the game with an ankle or a foot injury, came back and actually ran one of the last plays of the game. And we're looking at him like, what is he doing in there? You guys do have the lead. Your thoughts on that? Because McVay has been questionable at best in doing those kinds of decisions.
Maybe his baby was on the mind, because I never would have put Puka in that situation, especially when he's banged up and you're going to win the game anyway.
Banged up with a short week too.
And you just lose Devontae Adams, and that's what you're doing. You're risking your future. Sometimes coaches just have brain farts, in my opinion, and just do some of the dumbest things. Even the best coaches like McVay, and yes, McVay is a top 5, maybe top 3 coach in the league. It's kind of weird seeing these coaches having kids, man. And back in the day, it's usually the players having kids during these situations. But congrats to him and congrats to his wife. If I ever called my wife a stud, I'd probably be sleeping in the doghouse for a while. But I mean, I think what he meant is she's a trooper, and if she's really going to be a trooper, you get pay for some nannies because you got the money. You got to take care of business in the NFL.
Let's not worry about his financial situation.
Exactly. You got to use it for you. Now, of course, you want to see your kid as much as you can, but get this game over with. You're going to have an extra 3 days of rest or so till the following weekend when you have to play football again. But this is a situation in this game where it's hard for me to handicap it, because I know that Seattle has some advantages in this game. What Seattle doesn't have is their rush defense. Their rush defense is very poor against the run itself, and that's kind of where Kyron Williams and Blake Corum can, possibly take advantage of them in this situation and in this game. But otherwise, Seattle is a fantastic team themselves. I just worry about the quarterback play from Sam Darnold. I really trust a crucial situation a lot more with Matt Stafford.
Yep. And guess who just joined us? Hello, LVC. How are you, Chris?
Howdy, boys. How you guys doing?
Good. We just started the show, and we're going to go till the top of the hour when Kiev has to leave. Thanks for joining us. I'm just about to play a little more sound from the offense of the Rams as we preview tonight's Rams and Seahawks game, the greatest Thursday night football matchup in the history of the league, which actually is not saying much when you think about as bad as they've had some really poor connections there. Let's hear from Puka after I was able to get him the first question and talk about his injury against the Lions, and he looked fine and felt fine afterwards. So how concerned were you when you're hobbling off the field? Not even hobbling it, to make sure you're not putting any weight on the foot, and then you're back.
I love this game of football, and how important it is for this game and everything that everybody sacrificed. And in this crunch time moment, there's no place I'd rather be than out there on the field with those guys. With the mindset and the mentality that we've been carrying throughout week to week, we were super excited because these guys were coming into our town, and I know the last time I played them, I had an injury, so I wasn't able to finish and be out there with the guys. So this is one I was excited to go out there, and obviously when I get to play family, going against Pineda, so you got to make sure you have a good showing. So
Puka, 2-11-3 teams. Thursday night, short week. I mean, how much fun is this? I mean, it's such an important game.
I continue to say it every weekend before the games. I thank the Lord for the blessing that it is I have to play this game of football and the opportunity I get to play out here with these guys. We have a special group here, and there's no better moment than this Thursday coming up. Like you said, the two teams who've been playing really great football, and it'll be another opportunity to show what we've been doing.
All right, guys. Thanks, man. All right, so that's Puka Nacua, and how many targets tonight, guys? At least a dozen, you think?
It's going to have to be, I would think, without Devontae Adams. I think Parkinson's going to possibly have a pretty big game as he did last week.
Yep, and we'll hear from him in a minute, too.
Puka's been in a lot of interviews this week. Little controversies going around with some of the stuff he got suckered into. And, I think that this Devontae Adams injury could could make, put Witherspoon on Puka and maybe put a safety on the top and just kind of force them to throw to secondary receivers.
Right.
I mean, that's how I would play it if I was on defense there and I was McDaniel. But, it's a situation, like I said, if it comes down to the very end of the game, then I really like the quarterback and Matt Stafford to get it done. And Sam Darnold has not proven in big games that he can win it yet. So that's my only problem with this one.
Yeah, you mentioned tight end Colby Parkinson, a former Seahawk. His first 4 years were up in Seattle. We got him right after the game, and he's pretty straightforward kind of guy.
You've got more touchdowns the last 6 weeks than you had in your first 5 seasons in the league. Like, what has it been like for you to get to contribute in this way?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, that's for sure. But I always talk about the group as a whole. Our tight end room is amazing. We do a great job picking each other up, helping each other out with the different looks. Like, I wouldn't be doing this without Davis doing what he's doing, Ferg doing what he's doing, Nick Vanette, Tyler Higbee when he's healthy. Like, it all starts as a group, and I'm super thankful for those guys. And it could be any one of us any week. So thankful for those guys.
How about the timing of the tight ends and how they're more included in the offense as much as ever? With a few teams that are using 3 tight end sets. I mean, how does that, this is so great. It's like Christmas every week for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love the install meetings now, that's for sure. When we go through all the 13 stuff, it's a lot of fun. And getting out there with those guys is just great because we're able to trust each other. We can bounce ideas off each other for whatever the defense presenting. So it's a lot of fun, and it's cool that we are all contributing so much to helping this team win, too.
How do you sort of get ready for a short week?
Yeah, I mean, sorry I made you guys wait. It starts with recovery. Right after the game, we're doing massages, cold tip, hot tip, all that stuff. And the main thing is just getting your body back and making sure we're ready to go out there and play fast on Thursday.
Well, what about the physical part, the difficult part?
Definitely. I mean, that 4-day turnaround, it's very quick. So making sure your body's ready to go. And the coaches will put together a great plan for us, and we'll see what we get on Thursday.
How about the challenges of playing there, though, in a short week? And, the fact that it's a night game and it's just such an unusual place to play with their crowd.
Yeah, I mean, Lumen, they have great fans. I don't think the short week necessarily adds anything to that. Maybe the night game just for the environment. Yeah. It'll be a really fun environment. Looking forward to it. Obviously spent a lot of time up there my first 4 years, so excited to go back and get the win.
Colby, obviously more work to be done, but just what's it mean to earn the opportunity to reach the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you play for every year, right, is an opportunity in the playoffs. All you need is your foot in the door. Obviously, we're going to go out there these last 3 weeks and try to secure a good seeding and all that, but we're built for it. That's what Sean's been saying all season. We're built for it. We're excited for what the playoffs might bring, but we got Seahawks coming up in a few days, so we're focused on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. I think the Rams really are built for it. What do you guys think as the top seed now with just a couple of weeks left and favored to win the whole damn thing?
Well, there's quite a bit of variance here. It's interesting because if the Rams lose, then that opens the door for San Francisco and Seattle to chase the number 1 seed. How the hell San Francisco's in that position, I don't know. But
by the way, I am not a big Shanahan guy. But you got to give him credit because, with all the injuries, their key guys are out on defense. Their offense has been all over the place with injuries since week 1. And here they are. I mean, he's doing an unbelievable job.
I think so. It's remarkable, but it's going to be interesting. Traditionally, you don't see teams that are off 200, 500, or 2 500-yard games in a row, do well in the third game. So,
yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I'm still on. I guess it's going to be lots and lots of wins. So that wouldn't that favor the Rams a little bit on the ground game?
I don't know if is it supposed to be that windy? I thought it was only about 12 miles per hour. There's definitely rain tonight. That is for sure in Seattle.
Did you get a weather forecast, Kiev?
It's been raining constantly there. It's raining right now there.
Yeah.
I think they're going through like 20 some days of pure rain, which is not, it's not where I want to live. I mean, to be honest, down here in Arizona, we get a lot of people from Seattle here.
What a coincidence.
You'd think they'd be used to it by now.
Yeah, right.
But it's Sam Darnold or the wet football too. The Rams had Kyron Williams had 7.8 yards per carry last game. Now, Blake Corum only had 1.2. They kept giving it to Blake Corum, thinking the game was over, but they got overly conservative, and that's what McVay likes to do, and that does worry me a little bit. But I mean, right now I have this game pretty dang close to a pick 'em anyway, so nothing in between the threes. Tease it far. If you really want to play it, tease one of the sides. You know, you can take it to 11.5 with a 10-point teaser, or 7.5 with a 6-point teaser. But right now I'm going to enjoy the game.
What about you, Chris? Are you doing this game at all?
Yeah, I've got both sides teased to 11 and a half. So I'm hoping that it falls in between that range. And if it looks like it's going to cascade out of there, I'll try to protect one of the sides in game. But I've got Seattle 1.5 as my number, and I look at the board, it says 1.5, so I don't see any value.
Right.
I think Seattle's going to come away with this one, and I might lean my stuff a little bit towards Seattle. I forgot. I got the under in this game, under 44. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I think under 43 probably looks okay, but
I would lean under too. What do you think, Kiev?
Yeah, for sure. Lean under. It's a 13 mile per hour winds. It says definite rain in the forecast. Yep. These teams. This game means a lot for these teams. They're not gonna make mistakes. They're gonna run the ball a lot. It actually sometimes does worry me a little bit more when it comes to the rain, that you can move the ball better on the ground, but it also drains the clock. And this Rams rush defense is great. Now, statistically, the Seattle's rush defense is great. It's just that they couldn't stop the Rams last time. But they're supposedly 1-2 against the run, but the Rams ran all over them last time. So I like Chris's idea of teasing both sides.
Let's hear from Blake Corum. We just mentioned him before. He has 4 TDs in the last 3 games. And since week 10, he's the guy they give the ball to when they're within a couple of yards of the goal line. So he's the man right now.
It feels good. The crazy thing is we didn't even talk about it once. I don't even think it came to anyone's mind throughout the week. We were just ready to go out there, play our style of ball, get the win. And, it's obviously awesome to, punch the playoff ticket, but we still got more games ahead and, things we want to accomplish. And so, it's, like I said, one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time.
A little less celebration in here maybe because playoffs are great, but you guys want that top seed.
Oh, yeah, obviously, we want the top seed, but like I said, before, and we got the Seahawks Thursday, so that's what is on our mind right now, getting our bodies right, getting massages today, and, getting ready.
All right, so that's Blake Corum. And, one of the things about him was we had sort of an inside joke. I would walk past his locker early last year. And do you guys remember the old book from the New York Jets, Keyshawn Johnson, Just Give Me the Damn Ball? I used to walk past Blake, and he wasn't playing. I say, you got to write the sequel to that damn book. Give me one play. And now all of a sudden he is hugely important. And also talking to Kyron Williams, this is a really good situation for them to be very fresh for the playoffs, the way they're splitting the carries out there.
I will say Blake Corum has ran a lot better as of recently. From a fantasy football perspective, you notice it a little bit more because if he's on your team, you see how's he getting a lot of points, but he's getting a little bit more of a share. Kyron Williams had the largest share of any running back in 2024. And Blake Corum now is kind of taking some of those away, which I agree with. Why would you run your running back down the hole when you have the playoffs coming up and stuff like that? I expect 2 big games from them, but Seattle's going to see it coming. The question is, can they stop in the rain? Because cutting is always a little bit better for the offense than the defense because he knows which directions he's going to cut in a wet, sloppy field. But this is also in Seattle. Seattle's a weird team because they just seem to blow everybody out away from home, and at home they're not recovering nearly as much as what they do on the road. So that is something I consider a little bit as well. But, like I said, I have this close to a pick 'em as it is. I have a little bit of a lean to Seattle if it was at pick 'em. But, right now, laying juice on anything doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And let's hear from Kyron.
Kyron, how's it feel to clinch a playoff spot on home field?
It feels great. This is obviously, I didn't know this was a chance that we could do that today. But, it makes that win even much more better. And for me, it was honestly this is my 3rd time playing the Detroit Lions. This is my 1st time beating them. So for me, we clinched the playoffs, but I've also been a team that has, shown us a defeat twice in a row. So it's even more of a blessing to be able to get that win and get into the playoffs too.
It seems like all the guys didn't know that you're going to clinch a spot. How much of that is that's just the way you guys are brought into the system, or there's a bigger goal out there anyway?
I think it's a little bit of both. We don't talk about those type of things. We don't talk about clinching the playoffs. We don't talk about, hopefully getting to the Super Bowl. We don't do none of that. We just focus on each and every single day. Today's Sunday. We're going to move on from whatever happened today for the game, and continue to keep getting better. I think that's been the motto, or the focus throughout this whole year, is just continue to keep getting better after each and every single game, and not looking at the so-called results, but more of just like, how can we improve? And so to me and this team, I don't think we've ever heard anybody talk about any playoffs or anything like that. It's just consistently getting better, even every day.
That's Kyren Williams, running back for the Rams. And right now, they're almost as good as any 1-2 punch in the league, don't you think, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know Detroit, they're pretty happy with their guys, aren't you, Chris? But are they using them that way? That's the question.
We're just looking for better medical results. It's just that's where we're sitting in Detroit. If we could just stay healthy, we'd be in better shape.
Yeah. Anything else on tonight's game at all before I play one more? I've got a few, but we're going to run a little short of time today. So I want to play Jared Verse when we got him after the game. And I love how he talked about the rivalry, but it's about a minute here.
Jared was comfortable in the first half there, but then you guys got after him in the third quarter. What was the adjustment? How come you guys were able to get so much pressure on him and get him off at the spots?
The secondary started doing what they do. They started locking up. The first half, everybody was kind of getting out of their gaps and everything, not covering the way they had to, not rushing the way we had to. We came in the second half, we were like, we get them off the spot, it's over. We get them in these 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 plus, over, we can get right to them.
179 to 5 yards in the third quarter. What does that say about what you guys did?
We can do it at any point in time. We just have to actively want to do it. And that's on us. That's more of a player thing than a coach's thing. We have to be better on our end.
If you guys clinch the playoff spot tonight, what's that mean to you?
Not much. I mean, we still got, we got Seahawks on Thursday. That's my main focus right now.
How much of that is no celebration because you'd rather have the top seed anyway, and that's really the ultimate goal?
We only care about winning. That's all that matters in here. It's not, we don't care about seeding. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I care about winning the next game.
Looking ahead to Seattle, what's the challenge that they present with you guys?
I mean, that's one of the best offenses in the league. They got great skill. They got Jackson. They got a bunch of good guys. On the defense, they got a great defense. They got Sam Darnold with the Q, but we can't let him get comfortable. We got to get after him. And it all starts with that run. Kenneth Walker's a great back. We got to stop the run.
A couple guys in the Seahawks locker room after you guys played them the first time mentioned that they were looking forward to playing you guys again. Is this developing into a rivalry? And what are your thoughts on
this? Is the best one.
Saying that?
I mean, I don't like the Seahawks. They don't like us. I mean, that's just simply how it is. That you can see, you can watch the game back. You saw he's getting in their face, they was getting in ours. So it's gonna be a good game. I don't think there's too many rivalries in the league for real. But in the NFC West, that's the team I dislike the most.
There you go. I love when they say how much they dislike somebody. That's the way that football is supposed to be.
Jared was comfortable in the first half there, but then you guys got after him at the third.
I don't know why he came back on there again. Anyway, isn't that it's like old school stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like it when these players are hugging after games and stuff.
Exactly.
I guess Tua got in trouble for that this week.
Yeah?
I don't understand that.
Well, I'm standing about 3 inches away from Jared Verse. The way he looked down at me, I don't want to piss that guy off at any minute of the day. He is one tough dude. And if he hates your entire team, good luck, Seahawks. What can I say?
It's funny to me because I always think that people say the rivalries are for the fans and we're here on business. And
they usually are.
Now, obviously, when something happens, when there's a fight in a game or there's something extracurricular or there's some just really cockiness to the media, then maybe I buy it into it a little bit more. But I don't know if he's playing this up or not. But the truth is that this game is important anyway. It's just important. It's very important. So that's what's great about it.
The importance of skipping that one game is just underrated as far as I'm concerned, because anything can happen against any team. So that number one seed should be the golden egg that they're chasing after, frankly. It's got to be important.
Yeah. I'm not a big on the MVP award. I don't really care, but I think it's for the most part, isn't it a 2-horse race right now between Stafford and Josh Allen?
I think it's
either of you.
I think it's Matt Stafford's. I don't think it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen had it last year, and Josh Allen's not winning a lot of games lately. And the truth is that he's not in position to even necessarily win the division right now. The Buffalo's kind of got, after this week, a pretty hard coming up, and I don't know what the tiebreaker is with New England, but the truth, I wouldn't even look at Josh Allen personally. I would just give it to Matt Stafford.
Okay. Drake May has the second best odds still, but at circa, Stafford's still a heavy favorite.
You know why I mentioned Josh Allen? Because let's face it, guys, the Bills are whatever the hell they are without him. I mean, he's had to pull out games, and it's all him. It's ridiculous. He has to play Superman, as we say, almost every single week. And that's why I think should be in the discussion.
Yeah, if he didn't win it last year, this is a voted on thing.
No, I know.
It's just, if he didn't win it last year, I would consider it more.
Okay, and we don't have just a Thursday game. We have Saturday games. Your thoughts on the doubleheader there, boys?
I like Saturday games. They're great for teasers, spreading them out.
Well, that is very true. Explain that to those who may not know how that works so well in your system.
Well, I think anytime you marry a parlay or a teaser with the game starting at the same time, I think that's a bad idea. You want
right,
because you risk having one of those legs winning and going to waste. So having them spread out by time, I think, is more efficient use of what you want to do, and you're not wasting legs.
So Eagles at Commanders in this game, I guess the number is probably about right. Is that correct? Close to a touchdown, guys, on the road?
Yep. My number's 6.5 on it.
Okay. All right. You have any interest in laying this at all? I mean, is this a game where you figure, okay, it's back to Marcus Mariota again? Is he in a situation where the rest of his team cares because it's the Eagles, or are they sort of it's the beginning of give up mode?
I think they always care in these matchups. These divisional rivalries they'd love to stick it to the Eagles if they could. And Philadelphia,
especially at home, right?
Philadelphia doesn't have the greatest of success against mobile quarterbacks, so that might be an issue.
What do you have in this game, Kiev?
I have Philadelphia -7 is my pure number on it. I took it earlier in the week when it was 6.5 because I actually thought it would go up and maybe get up to 7.5 by kickoff, maybe. Is it a stance for me? Well, the Eagles have owned this matchup, really.
Yep.
And you have to understand, sure, they're missing Jalen Carter and an offensive lineman, but this Washington team is not just banged up from the quarterback perspective. They're banged up pretty much everywhere. Laramie Tunsil's out, Bobby Wagner did not participate in practice. Their best linebacker, Eddie Goldman, the defensive tackle, is out. Trey Amos has been on the shelf. He's on IR. Luke McCaffrey, their secondary kick returner and receiver. Noah Brown came back, and now he's out again. Zach Ertz, who is their kind of like blanket protection receiver there, pass catcher, he's out. Remember they lost Marshawn Lattimore in earlier November. This team is massively banged up too. The thing about quitting is nobody quits until the game's starting to get out of hand, and then you see some quit in these teams. I have it exactly at 7, but I mean the Eagles at 6.5 was a better number.
Yeah, and maybe the second best matchup of the week is also on Saturday, the Packers at the Bears. Your thoughts on that, guys?
Kiev's the Bears fan. Give us the inside scoop.
Well, I took it at Sunday at 2.5. So I mean,
nice.
And that's what you do. You try to get ahead of the line moves, and it was 3 if I could have got it quicker. But it's a situation where I think it just lines up for the Bears. Now, Micah Parsons, the Packers are going to put a great effort up there, and I'm probably going to throw the Packers in a 10-point teaser and move them up to 8.5. there's 1.5s right now at DraftKings. Why not play both sides of it? But it's a situation where I think the Bears have had this ready. I watched the first matchup and it was very even in my opinion. You don't have the X factor and Micah Parsons there messing up Caleb Williams. I feel the Bears need this more and want it more. You know what the weird thing about this game is? The Bears are going to, if they win this, they get to 11 wins. They still haven't clinched a playoff spot at 11.
It's crazy.
Because they can San Fran and Detroit can win out, and then the Packers can win out, and the Packers that would mean the Bears lose twice, and the Packers actually have the tie, which the Bears would miss the playoffs with 11 wins while you have some guy in like Tampa Bay and Carolina or even the Eagles making the playoffs with 8 wins. It's mind-boggling to not make the playoffs at 11 wins. That's more stressful to me than anything. But even with the Bears missing Romo Dunze and Burton, they still have 2 tight ends in Kmet and Loveland. They have a hell of a run game with Monagai and Swift. If you want to talk about a dual action running backs, lately it's been the Bears running the ball really well. I feel like Montgomery's getting too ignored in Detroit personally, but or predictable when they throw him in.
Yeah.
But I think the Bears will get this game, but I also think it's very close.
Yeah.
And it's just if both of these teams make the playoffs, that one of them has to go to Carolina or Tampa Bay, I believe.
That is a shame.
Yeah, really. It's only going to be 30 degrees there, so it's not a pretty nice day this time of the year in Chicago, right? Not a lot of wind.
No,
it's going to be a good day.
Another pretty day in Chicago. What can I say? So anyway, you guys are. Did you end up getting anything early on that one, Chris, like Kiev did?
I'm playing plus 11.5 on both sides.
Okay. Wow. That's a huge window right there.
Yeah.
I like that because, you figure this game's not going to get away from either side.
It shouldn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
But the Watson is still questionable whether he's going to play, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he practiced again today. Again, we're not going to know that until tomorrow. Actually, we shouldn't we know today for the Saturday games? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, I haven't heard
he's
officially.
Supposed to play.
He is okay. All right. Well, good luck with that. Chargers at the Cowboys. I know the boys have like a 1% chance to make the playoffs, and the Chargers. That's a tough. Again, back-to-backer if we go on the road here. But what are your thoughts on LA going in there and seeing if the Cowboys still have some juice left after that awful last performance?
Chris?
I was just looking at the injury report. It's pretty long for Dallas, and the Chargers look, healthier than they have in a long time.
Yeah, except for their O-line is going to be screwed the rest of the year. Outside of that,
but the Chargers' playoff chances don't change much. That's the only thing I worry about. I think the Chargers are the better team, but they don't have to have the game, and it's hard to get up each and every week. They have 2 games that are tough ahead of them.
Good point.
So it is unfortunately a candidate for us, to kind of overlook Dallas a little bit, but. Dallas can double their playoff chances if they win and raise those odds up to 2%. So they've got a lot of motivation.
Dallas.
I think he froze there for a second. Kiev, if you hear me, I think you just froze. It's not that cold in Scottsdale either.
No.
Is your number right on that line there, Chris? That 2.5.
It looks a little low, but
am I back yet?
Yeah, you're back.
So real quick, when the Eagles win, the Cowboys are out. Okay, so the line's going to tank some. I think as of Saturday, the line's going to tank. You're probably already seeing people predict that, and the Chargers money's starting to come in a little bit. I cheesed the Chargers to 8.5. Just to get ahead of that part of it.
Okay.
But I think that, it doesn't mean the Cowboys are not going to play hard, though. A lot of people will
Right, of
assume
course.
that, but I think they're still, Jerry Jones is paying them. He's pissed. He seemed to be at the game. They're still going to play hard, but the market's going to make that boneheaded mistake where, they start betting on the Chargers because the Chargers need it more or something,
Right. I'm thinking overs in this game just because it just should be a shootout and it's like whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, you may be right. Dallas has the second worst defense in the league, and
exactly.
The Chargers' offense has been improving lately, so it's probably not a bad look.
Yeah, sort of like that. How about the Vikings and the Giants? We could spend about 12 seconds on that game.
You've already spent too much time on it.
Okay, that's the the Bills and the Browns. The Bills on the road against Shedeur Sanders. What do we have? A double-digit favorite on the road. I hate that unless you really like the Browns. You almost have to take the Browns or nothing, don't you, in this game?
Apparently, their last game was the bottom 10 DVOA game of all time for the Browns, and it was the lowest possible PFF score possible. So,
okay,
pretty miserable. But Cleveland's 4-0 as a dog of 7+, and they've won 3 outright of those 4. So it's an interesting spot for Buffalo. The line is short. It should be higher than it is, and it's shortened because it is a bad spot for Buffalo.
Yeah, supposed to be extremely windy in Cleveland with about in the low 30s. So figure wind chill factor is going to maybe come into play here, and obviously, if it's more than 20 mile per hour winds, major factor in this game.
Tease Buffalo down to 0.5 with a 10-pointer.
Yeah, I've got lots of Buffalo teasers. It's a good 10-point teaser week, I'll tell you that.
Oh, that's true. I like that. Love that, as a matter of fact. Anything else as far as the OUs are concerned in this game?
No.
So low right now, I'm not taking the under.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one here on the list as I scramble because I can't see my own screen. There you go. That's the Saints and the Jets. Forget that game. How about the Bucks and the Panthers, guys? Because that's one game. Will the Buccaneers wake up? Are their injuries taking its toll just overall on the season for them? Are they almost done, even though they're still obviously in a situation where they can pull off a playoff spot?
It's just a very interesting situation, just because the game has over 100% leverage to it.
Yeah,
it's essentially a playoff game for both.
Yep.
Carolina came off that emotional embarrassing meltdown last week against the Saints, and they're a different team altogether at home. They like to win at home for some reason. So
yeah, I'm really curious what Kiev thinks about the way the Tampa Bay defense has been really disappointing this year, and how this is carrying over to this time of the year.
Well, after last game, you'd expect an absolute number one effort possible out of the team. I mean, that was absolutely
even their effort is not good enough. It's good
ridiculous.
Extra rest. They're actually getting healthier, at least from the offensive side of the ball, with Mike Evans and Goddard. When was the last time they've been playing together? Right, minus last week. It's Levante David's their.
He froze again. Didn't pay his Wi-Fi bill this week.
It's like Bobby Brady and when he was on TV. Remember that episode?
Yeah. Okay. He's not. Are you back, Kiev? I can't see his face moving, so I guess not. Did you do anything there, Chris, on this game at -3?
No, I think it's pretty. I know there's a solid service release on Tampa minus the 2.5.
Yep.
I think it's a good line. I think it's a good line.
You do think it's a good line? Okay.
I do. And I got about 2 minutes left.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And thoughts on Miami at Cincinnati? Are the Dolphins done?
Tua's been playing so bad. What's
Yeah.
the downgrade to Ewers? Tua looks disinterested half the time. I think it was a right move for McDaniel. You have to remember, you're laying points with one of the worst defenses in the league. That's not a good idea. That's not a winning formula with the Bengals there. I mean, to be honest with you, even the Miami Dolphins could be a good 10-point teaser, 14.5 if you like. But I have a strong lean to the Dolphins right now.
Yeah, I've tried them out already, plus 14.5.
Really? Okay.
For some, it's not I don't have a lot of confidence in it, but that's the side to take technically.
Yeah.
Okay. But then again, you've got two teams playing. You've got the Raiders and you've got Cincinnati. They were both shut out last week, and teams that were shut out this season are 5-0 the following week. So something's got to give this week, I think, though.
All right. So Kiev has much more important obligations than this. So he is out of here. I really appreciate you joining us, guy.
I wish I could talk longer. My son's got to get to baseball. I get it. If I could do it from the diamond, I certainly would. Thanks again for having me.
Hey, if you got that 9-10 year contract waiting for your son playing baseball, you don't need us for the rest of your life.
Well, we did play in front of Pat Murphy last weekend, so that
there
was
you
fun.
go. All right, man.
His team, actually.
A great holiday.
You guys take care. Good to see you, Chris. See ya.
Cheers, Kiev.
See ya. All right, so we appreciate Kiev O'Brien joining us always. Chris, can you stay for a few more minutes?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to just go over a few more games on our list here. Hang on a quick second. Just the fact that Kiev's. I wanted to talk about his show and all that, but he had to run. You tell people what his strengths are on his podcasts.
He has the Odds Breakers website, and he runs videos. I think that touch on pretty much most sports, and he's got some notable people that come on and join periodically. So definitely worth checking out.
Yeah,
I've known him for a while, and he puts a lot of time and energy into it, and he's got a lot of good info and does a lot of good work.
Excellent. All right. We already know about the injury to Mahomes, of course, and the Chiefs at Tennessee. Is that even a game? Let's not even discuss it. It doesn't matter. I did want to say one thing. Really disappointed in Gardner Minshew, even though I know he could be all over he's got Brett Favre times 10 in his body of throwing the ball wherever, whenever. But that last interception to take them out of any playoff possibilities when they were in a great spot to just kick a field goal against the Chargers. That was just awful. Did you see that play?
I did not see it because the stuff was hitting the fan all at once, and I was scrambling. I probably would have preferred. What I needed was Kansas City to win the game by 3. That would have been optimal. So.
Okay. Well, you might have been in a position to do that because they're already in easy field goal position, and he forced one to a guy who was fully covered, and that was the end of the ball game. I was just so stupid. Really?
Well, you got to try to win it.
Not that way. You can win it with a kick.
I didn't even see the pass, but
you got. If you get a chance, check it out. It was just really bad. And again, you're going to win it if you tie the game, and you got a chance to win it in overtime. You're home, so just take care of biz. But you can't lose it that way. That's all I'm saying. Jacksonville at Denver. I know Ron was thrilled about what Denver did last week for him. That was his play of the year, if I remember correctly. One of his huge plays when they came back to beat the Packers. How did that affect you in that game?
That was a very good result for me. I was worried about it for a while because it looked like Green Bay was going to be able to pull away, and they stopped Green Bay in the final 6 or 7 drives. I think the final 6 drives they held in the 55 yards. Pretty impressive by Denver. So, they just win, and they win ugly sometimes. And it's nerve-wracking, but you've got to respect that team. Who the hell wants to go through Denver? Getting that number 1 seed is going to be very good for Denver.
Yep.
And they're not a pretender, that they're backing into a 1 seed.
No, and is Jacksonville a pretender, or are they just beating the teams they need to beat? And here they are in the best position they've been in a long time.
Well, I didn't even realize this, but the 11 out of the last 12 quarters Jacksonville has played, it's been against rookie quarterbacks, and 7 out of those 8 have been against undrafted free agent quarterbacks. So that kind of takes a little bit of steam out of their performance a little bit. I think puts a little perspective on it, to say the least.
Exactly.
But as much as we were down on Lawrence for the first half of the season, he's looking comfortable now. He's not making the same mistakes. I forget that receiver they picked up, Jacoby. Is that who they picked up?
Yeah, from Vegas.
He's made a big difference on the offense, and that's made it easier on Lawrence. And they're dropping fewer balls, and that really helps. So winning and losing is contagious. So
exactly.
But it's a tough place to win. We're going to have to see how they do.
Yeah, as far as the spread's concerned, are you interested in taking the points, or are you totally off this game?
I want to see what happens with the line from here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. All right. I'm just thinking 46.5 is the total.
Yeah, I think that's short. I think the over is the play.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. All right, let's go to the next game. No interest in the Atlanta game. The Steelers and the Lions, your Detroit boys, are in a position here where they really need to win. And just your thoughts on how they came out of the last game, because I was disappointed in what happened there.
You were. They could be eliminated from the playoffs this week. So it's just far from what the minimum expectation was. And it's their last home game of the year, so the home fans are going to be there to send them off, and likely will not see them again this year. So they're coming off of that loss, and it's redundant to say what happens after they lose. They obviously win.
Yeah.
It's win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. I think Pittsburgh is going to be able to be beaten fairly easily.
Right.
But Pittsburgh's, been surprising lately. So I don't think Pittsburgh really needs this game as much, do they? Let me look at I guess their playoff chances do drop to 54%, but they still, face Baltimore at the end.
Right. Let's see. Pittsburgh wins week 18 against Baltimore is what they need, right?
Yeah. They could technically, if Baltimore loses and Pittsburgh wins 2 games in a row, then they actually don't, it doesn't matter what they do against Baltimore, I believe.
I think you're right. But if Baltimore wins out, then they take care of biz. So,
but even if the Lions go 3-0, they only have a 94% chance of making the playoffs. But they can still win the division. They can still be knocked out this week. So wide variance.
Yeah, let's just say it's full speed ahead for the Lions and their offense in this game, right? You can't be screwing around with anything.
Well, they should be able to run the ball on Pittsburgh, so that's the difference. There's been a couple of games where I think that Campbell has not adjusted properly, where there's, Gibbs either runs wild or he gets stuffed. And the games where he's getting stuffed, Campbell's not getting Montgomery in there in usage enough. So,
well, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, are they not mixing it up as well as like the Rams are with their duo?
Yeah, no, they're not. So I think that's been pointed out. I don't think anybody's going to have a problem running this week.
Right.
But they needed to get Montgomery more involved than they had in a few of these games. You just can't keep running the same crap and going 3 and out every possession of third quarters.
Yeah, the Raiders at Houston, I'm going to spend about 5 seconds on this game because I'm curious your thoughts on Houston being a 2-touchdown favorite or more, and they have a hard time scoring 2 touchdowns in a game.
Well, how much do you have to score if the Raiders only had 75 yards in total?
No, I know. I'm just saying.
They have 2 games combined where their time of possession is 36 minutes combined. So
wow, that's crazy.
It's things are falling apart there, for the Raiders. You know what? Houston just wants to get out of there
healthy.
When you're dealing with that many points, you really can't. I don't think you can really mess with that spread.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they get off to a nice lead, you bench everybody like it's preseason, basically, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and then you have Geno Smith. He's full practice for the 2nd day in a row. So, who knows what goes on whether that changes anything. But when you've got, some of the players they have, there's just no excuse. And I know Crosby was yelling and screaming at one of the players who just quit on a play, and it did look pretty bad.
No, things are falling apart, really surprisingly so under Pete Carroll, because usually he keeps things together. But, when you're losing the way they're losing, it's a little hard to keep any kind of decent morale.
Well, you know who the new offensive coordinator is since Kelly left?
Who's that?
Pete Carroll's son.
Oh, is that right? I didn't even notice that.
So that's not working out either.
Well, you might as well bring Chip back because he could piss people off within seconds, good and bad. How about New England and Baltimore? As far as the Patriots, I think of them as sort of like Jacksonville. Who have they beaten kind of a thing? Jacksonville more as of late. But New England keeps pulling things off. And yes, Drake May is the real deal so far.
Yeah, it's they've got their red zone problems though. They can't seem to keep the teams out, and they can't. And when they're hitting the red zone, all of a sudden they're having their problems. So they've got offensive line issues, left guard or left tackle and a right guard. That doesn't help. They are not a deep team. They had defensive injuries on top of that are not good. I've waffled. I've gone back and forth on this game. I thought at first this line was the dumbest line I'd seen in a while, and now I've gotten to the point of seeing both sides. And it's interesting. Baltimore basically had a vacation last week. I think they only ran 40 offensive plays. Lamar only had like a dozen passes and 2 runs. Cincinnati had basically quit. So. It was, a little bit of a free pass on Baltimore last week.
I'm assuming Jackson's back at practice. I think he was out with the flu.
He's back. Yeah, he's
okay.
back.
All right, so that's not even an issue. Are you touching this game at all?
I'm playing both sides for sure.
Okay.
I need to do some more. I want to find out some more information on the game before I decide which way I'm going to lean on it.
Okay. I'm trying to check out the weather here. Let's see. Here we go. Ravens. Slight chance of snow, 36 degrees, 13 mile per hour winds. So not a beautiful day in Baltimore.
No.
All right. Go over a couple more games and we'll get out of here. How about the Niners and the Colts and San Francisco against Phillip Rivers, his 2nd straight game after 5 years of being on vacation. I assume you got a decent amount of viewability of that last game.
I think just an awesome game on Monday night. I think even if you weren't betting the game, you'd like to see the dynamics are so interesting. It's worth a worthwhile view, so to speak.
Right.
What a gift for old man Rivers to face the 31st rushing defense or pressure defense.
Yeah, right.
Myles Garrett has like four more sacks than the whole San Francisco team this year.
Yeah. Well, that's why we talk about how really they've turning things around and playing as well as they have with their key guys out for the year. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah. So, the San Francisco's defense is not stuffing, and Rivers is, and plus they've had more time to work on some stuff. We saw that, it was all dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. You'd think they'll come up with something a little bit more innovative this week.
Right.
It's going to be that Colts defense and see if they can hold San Francisco or not.
Yeah, and the Colts offensive line, I thought they did a great job for Rivers in the last game, keeping him clean. And he's smart enough. He knows I got to get rid of the ball. He looks like he has less arm left than I do right now. I don't think he could throw the ball more than 10 yards.
It's amazing how he looks like a shot putter.
Well, he's always done in that. You know that.
But he gets rid of that ball fast. I mean, it's going to be interesting. And I was thinking today, if you're not used to doing something, you'd think that he's going to run into a dead arm at some point. But right. I don't think it'll happen in game 2.
No, I totally agree with that. And look, are you willing to lay the points though in this game? Does it matter that Indy's at home even to you?
I think it's interesting just because it's a different type of environment for the 49ers.
Well, a Monday night standalone game obviously puts it's a different kind of. If this was thrown at just a typical Sunday afternoon game, I think it'd be a different feel for everything.
I think some of the motivation depends on who wins tonight because if San Francisco's playoff leverage can only go down to 92% as things stand now with a loss. So it's not a do or die situation like Indianapolis because Indianapolis, with a win, their chances only go up to 31%. So they're in must-win dire straits. But I think if the Rams win, that takes out the chances for San Francisco to get a number 1 seed or to win. Maybe.
I think that's correct.
So if Seattle wins, that gives them Seattle plays San Francisco again, don't they?
I believe. I think you're right. Check that out. Well, here's your NFC West situation here.
Yeah, they finished. So they both control their own destiny if Seattle wins tonight.
Okay. I still think tonight's game is just so fascinating in many ways. You joined us a little bit late, but we had talked about, get your thoughts on this. The last time that the Rams and Seahawks played, I was there at SoFi Stadium. That was the crazy game that came down to the last second. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And they could have let the clock run out, but they left 1 second left, and there were 2 bad. Potentially, there's actually ended up only 1 flag before that last play. Really bad pass interferences against the Rams DBs, and only one of them was called. If they were both called, then Seattle's in great field goal range and to win this game. And at the same time, Darnold throws 4 picks. So all of that, and yet they only lose by 2. So this game is pretty evenly matched.
I remember that game because I had a strong bet on Seattle, and it was frustrating.
What was the spread in that game? You remember?
I believe it was at least a field goal because they covered. Seattle covered.
Oh, okay, they did cover.
I want to say it was 3.5. So
right,
and that was an interesting way to cover.
Yes, it is. But anyway, so it should be a fascinating game tonight. And then, looking ahead, you got what is it? A triple header on Christmas Day?
Yeah, you've got Dallas at Washington, the Lions at the Vikings. The Vikings play 2 out of their last 3 games. All their games are spoilers. Their last 2
exactly.
games are spoilers.
Yep.
And then Denver at Kansas City. That doesn't have the same cachet as we had hoped.
Not quite.
And then what's interesting on Saturday, you have Baltimore at Green Bay. That could be very interesting. And then Houston at the Chargers. That could be interesting.
Yep. Now we're coming down to the wire, but this is the time of year when you just say, okay, who is truly giving up as far as, they fall behind a little bit, say goodbye. That game is over. I mean, that's the major factor right now. for
Yeah, you don't know it, but what's kind of odd is we pretty much know who's going to be in the playoffs. I mean, usually there's more teams involved and more variance this week, but we pretty much know who's in, who's out, other than one or two situations. So that makes this year a little bit different than years past.
Yeah, I totally agree. Anyway, tonight's game is a big one. The Rams and the Seahawks in Seattle, rainy Seattle, and maybe windy Seattle. So that's going to be interesting. What are your plans for the holidays there, Chris? Because next week, you and Ron going to do Wednesday again?
Yeah, Ron and I are going to be back Wednesday at noon.
Okay.
And
then
that's
this show. This show is a TBD because of Christmas on Thursday. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I don't have a game to go to this weekend because the Rams and the Chargers both on the road in a rare week off for me. So in that respect, screw it.
Well, go see some hockey.
Actually, I will be doing that. And also my buddy Paul Olden's in town. He's the Yankees PA announcer. And we're going to a Lakers-Clippers game. I haven't been to one of those games in 5 years. I used to live there every night. So I'm going to see the new arena, the Intuit Dome. So just to check that out.
There's a new arena? Where, for Clippers?
Yeah, for the Clips, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. It's new for a couple years old now. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Good luck this weekend. And thanks, Chris. Always appreciate you joining us. Happy holidays, everybody.